There's a moment in your life where everything shifts, not because anything around you changes, but because you do. You stop asking for permission. You stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing clarity outside of you. And it's subtle. But once it happens, everything starts to move differently. One of the first things that changes is you stop asking for permission to speak, to choose, to walk away from something that doesn't feel right. You don't run it through 10 people first. You don't wait for validation. You just decide. And that decision doesn't come from force. It comes from clarity. Another shift, you stop explaining yourself. You don't justify your boundaries. You don't defend your decisions. You don't try to make everyone understand you, because you realize something important. People who are committed to misunderstanding you will misunderstand you no matter what you say. And people who get you don't need an explanation. So you stop over-explaining and you start standing in your truth. When you reconnect to your power, you start seeing things earlier. You notice the pattern faster, the energy faster, the misalignment faster. You don't need to go through the whole cycle anymore. You don't need to wait for things to fall apart, because awareness shortens the loop. This is a big one. You stop chasing clarity. You don't keep going back trying to figure it out. You don't keep asking questions you already know the answer to, because at some point you realize you already feel it. And that's when things change. Clarity isn't something you find outside of yourself. It's something you recognize within yourself. Another shift happens. You stop overgiving. You stop trying to prove yourself and your worth through what you do, through how much you give, through how much you tolerate, because you realize your value isn't something you earn. It's something you already have. And when you know that, you don't overextend yourself anymore. You move differently. You're quieter, clearer, more grounded. You don't need to talk about your growth. You don't need to prove anything. People can feel it, because real change doesn't need to announce itself. And this is where your power really locks in. You stop feeding what used to drain you. You don't react the same way. You don't engage the same way. You don't give your energy to the same things. And because of that, they lose their hold on you. Not because they disappeared, but because you disconnected. So when people ask, what does it look like to take your power back? It doesn't look dramatic. It looks like this. You stop asking. You stop explaining. You stop chasing. You stop overgiving. And you start living from clarity. And once you do that, everything in your life starts to reflect it. If this resonated with you, subscribe, because this is exactly what I talk about here. And if you felt this shift in your own life, comment below. I'd love to hear your experience.